Awesome Knowledge is back. Insert cool intro here.
Cool intro.
Yes, absolutely. I could not have done a better intro than that. Here I was before I started this podcast saying to James, I don't know what to do for an intro. And James says, just do a cool intro. And I said, okay. So I inserted cool intro here. James, hopefully Melbourne is going to go back to normal. Tomorrow is actually the day that we get let out of this prison.
Yes.
And yeah, hopefully within the next few weeks, we're going to be back doing it live in your apartment. Oh, sorry, the studio.
The studio. And
Yeah.
we could say, and back to the studio.
Yeah. Back to you, Jane Bunn.
I feel like a TV show. That's nice.
Yeah,
that's good.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think we're looking forward to getting back and doing it in person. We're hilarious over Zoom, James, but we know the potential we've got out of Zoom.
Absolutely.
Out on the track. So
that's enough. Going to be great. It's going to be great.
That's enough tooting our own trumpets. I think we need to humble ourselves with some knowledge that I do not know.
No, that is exactly right, and that's why I am here today.
Yeah.
Now, Josh.
Yeah.
How cool is the ocean?
Oh no, James! You've asked me.
I like the ocean. Like I never lived near the beach as such. I wasn't a surfer kid, but there was a time in my life where I would go to like a reasonably well-known beach in Victoria called Torquay. And there was a time where I could literally go to Torquay and like I'd know the place like the back of my hand. And loved Torquay, loved the ocean, loved the beach. But what do we actually know about the ocean?
It's true. Now, well, to be fair, I mean, as you can tell from my complexion, James, I'm not built for the sun. And a really quick note to not get off on a tangent too early, because our goal is to be efficient in these podcasts. Is that good luck. Is that I've never been a big beach person, and all my friends know that you know this. And I went to the beach when we weren't in a lockdown, and I did have a good time with the people I was with, but everyone wants to lay there and tan. Now, my body doesn't have the ability to tan, and everyone. So we went into the water. We'll swim in for like 15 minutes. Everyone goes, "I'm cold." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So they go back up onto the beach, and they just lay in the sun for 2 hours. And I'm sitting there going, we're going to kick a footy or we're going to go back in the water? And they're like, no, we're just tanning. I'm like, think about me. I'm just going to burn, be in pain and go more pale. I've embraced my pace. I'm a pasty prince. I know this. I am what I am.
Pasty prince. That's on a t-shirt somewhere, surely.
Yeah, that'll be our first merch drop. All right, James, give me some facts.
All right, so you probably know that the majority of our planet's surface is covered by bodies of water, yeah?
Yes, I do.
So it's actually round about the 70 to 75% mark is actually water.
It's high. It's higher than you would think, isn't it?
It is. It's a high tide.
It's like your body is like 80% water or something. Don't people say that? It's ridiculous. There's no way that's true. But look, I don't want to go into the science of that.
It's a large amount of body of water. And you might not have heard, though, that, sea waves can move at 100 miles per hour underwater. Like they are ridiculous.
What's this in kilometers?
Kilometers, 100 miles an hour.
100 miles is very fast.
100 miles is a very fast. And I'm going to look it up or you look it up while I talk.
You talk.
So little things like that, but also things like the ocean depths are home to millions of tons of gold. Like we've mined around, our homes and all that sort of stuff, but we've never really done too much underwater mining. There are millions and millions of tons.
160 kilometers an hour.
There you go. So
which is very fast.
It's very fast. But we also have more extensive maps of Mars than we do of our own ocean floor.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Ocean so floor, we're gonna. That's my little intro for this evening.
Nice. Yeah.
But here's my little tidbits of knowledge, Josh. Did you know that the majority of life on Earth is aquatic?
So yeah.
as much
So there's
Yeah, so
obviously a
as much
lot
of the
more that
Earth's
lives under the
surface,
water than on top.
correct. So as much
The
as the
land,
Earth's
yeah.
surface is underwater, it's basically no surprise that marine life is a ridiculous amount of percentage. It's actually about 90 to 94% of Earth's living species exist within the ocean.
Here's a question I don't think you know the answer to, which is a bit
Ooh.
patronizing, but here we go.
Oh,
If they
okay.
know that it's 94% underwater, how do they know that if they haven't discovered it?
Ooh.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Cop that.
Okay.
Cop that.
No. I like that. I like
See
that.
where my brain's going here, James? Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
With
See,
my help, he could be the best.
These podcasts are making you think. I like it. See,
Yeah.
not only are we teaching those that are listening, but we're teaching you as well.
This podcast is mainly just to get my IQ up a little bit, and maybe one day I'll be able to go to uni. So,
or at least come to the pub trivia and answer some questions.
That's true. I'll get if they're James Bond related, apparently they're the only ones I can get, and anything around the twist.
But isn't that terrifying to know that like 94% of Earth's species are actually underwater? And you saying that we don't, like, there's a lot more out there, and the fact that we have not even mapped that much of the ocean.
Like, what is there to map under there, though? It's not like you need Google Maps under there or anything. It's just kind of like sand, weird fish, rocks, and probably a bunch of dead people.
Well, this comes to the next question: is what do you think the percentage is?
Oh, these guessing games are the worst.
Of the planet's oceans that have been explored. So what we know, what percentage do we
when they say explored,
know?
Are we talking about underwater explorer? Yeah, okay.
Correct. Yeah, correct. So what have we mapped? What's the percentage that we've actually mapped?
I'm thinking like 6%.
You are pretty much on the money. It's 5%. It's a 5%.
I got one.
You did. I'm very impressed. I'm very proud.
I'm still traumatized from that elephant episode. And there was another one in the Rome one, I think, as well.
Yeah. Oh. It was some ridiculous number, and I'm like, no.
No, like
but
12
we
times
have
the amount.
We have actually explored less than 5% of the Earth's oceans. And researchers strive so much to discover more. And we're continuing to know more and more about our oceans. But there's a lot of money going up into the sky rather than down underwater. So
got to beat the Russians, James. You got to get up there.
Well, absolutely. They're sending dogs and, monkeys and stuff.
Maybe that's where all the fish are going, up there.
See, there it
is. No, sorry. That's the opposite. Maybe that we need to send the fish up there because 94% of things are under there. So shoot some of those up there and stop sending the stuff on the land,
So
I'm a scientist.
Within the 5%, you're right. Within the 5% that we've actually looked at, okay, the world's longest mountain chain is actually underwater.
I think I've heard this before, actually. I don't know anything else, but I think I've heard that before. Yeah.
So it's actual mountain range. So like we've got the Blue Mountains and we've got the Cathedral Ranges and things out this way. You've got the Swiss Alps. Earth's longest chain of mountains is the mid-ocean ridge, and it's entirely below the water and is stretching 65,000 kilometers.
That seems, hefty.
For, 40,000 miles.
Yeah.
And it's actually, the chain is less explored than the surface of Venus or Mars. So remember we were saying that we have a better map of Mars than we do of our oceans. This particular part of it, we've only just taken little photos of the top, and we kind of figured out the actual distance, but we haven't mapped it completely. So it's huge.
I'm just wondering, what do we I'm not a scientist, so I think just mapping it for a scientist would get you a little fuzzy down there. But for us common folk, people are going to be like, we mapped underwater, and I'll be like, okay, cool. Yeah, can't go under there anyway. My head will explode. It will. It goes everywhere. I've seen the ones with those like fishbowl helmet things they wear under there. And then didn't Mythbusters do one where they saw if something happens and your head goes and it just like explodes inside the thing?
So it's the amount of pressure that's actually underwater.
The pressure.
Yeah. And we'll get to that eventually.
Oh,
we will get to that.
No spoilers, James.
No,
Play with me like this, sir. Au contraire, Chisel.
But how awesome would that be? Like we're talking about how hard, like not basically what 95% of the oceans haven't been mapped. And we were talking about how, we've got pirates and things like that prior to, skyscrapers and cars. The amount of booty that's down there, the amount of doubloons.
The amount of booty that's up here, baby.
Oh, damn. Damn.
Yeah, that after lockdown booty, that's the one.
Rub my hands together.
I feel like such a bad person for saying that.
I know. It's fine. It's fine. I said booty first, and I started a chain of events.
You knew exactly what you were doing.
I did. I know the buttons to push, mate. I am. Many can attest to that. But the whole thing about
okay, all right, champ. Straighten up, James.
Straighten up and fly right. That's what they said.
Oh God, we're gonna get cancelled.
We are. It's gonna be great.
No, it's not.
So no, it's not.
No, it's not. Say something bad about BTS. Don't say no. Don't. Please go on.
And I was ready to.
I know you were. That's why I had to react and jump in there quickly before the entire career comes down on us. We know what they're capable of.
2, 1. So the amount of
I'm not cutting that
money
out.
and treasure. No, you shouldn't. The amount of money and treasure and sunken ships and skeletons, like all these dead pirates that have been, or dead sailors that have been left out in the sea, it would just be littering the bottom of the ocean.
It's true.
Or already eaten. Or
I was going to say everything down there's probably nibbling on. I've seen those fish with the light bulbs on their head, and they've got big teeth.
The anglerfish, yeah, you're right. They are a pretty cool dude.
Dude.
Well, I like the anglerfish. I think I'm pretty sure it was in Nemo. Was it in Finding Nemo? That fish. I feel like I remember.
I think it must have been. I remember, because they go really far down, like they Finding Nemo, and I think really
it accidentally eats its own little antenna thingy.
Yes, I think you're right. I do remember the exact scene you're talking about. I'm pretty sure it's from Nemo.
I think it was the Wallaby Way. It's the Wallaby Way Sydney scene. I remembered it. It's the Wallaby Way Sydney scene.
Okay. Well, I was about to get the listeners to help us out here, James, but you've just ruined that for me. So
I've got it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, that's fine.
This is
why I do. Sorry.
This is why I do this. I just know things. It'll come back. I've got dial-up brain. Like it just pops in when it's ready.
Yeah. You're gonna get broadband soon.
Oh, eventually. One day. One day. Anyway, let's get down to business.
We say this every 5 minutes.
We do. Water at the bottom of the ocean is incredibly hot. Is incredibly hot.
Incredibly hot. Like, is it incredible compared to how cold water is? Is it to us like, oh, that's hot?
Well, you know how you put lobsters into boiling water and they turn red?
Yep.
Okay, that is basically what would happen to us if we were to do that. We would burn very easily.
I do that on top of the ocean, James.
You do. And it would be worse if you did it this way, because in the deepest parts of the ocean, the water temperature actually gets the water temperature is only 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, with the exception of water coming out of hyperthermal vents. Now, hyperthermal vents are the ones that are basically a straight tunnel down to the Earth's core.
Yeah,
and you're getting up to 400 degrees Celsius or 750 degrees Fahrenheit
at the bottom of the ocean.
At the bottom of the ocean, so you're effectively you start off with these cold water, and you keep going down. The further down you go, the more boiled the water gets.
Like, okay, so does it bubble? Like, is it not have that boiling sense? I guess because it's cold on the top. Like, why doesn't it boil then? This is probably a ridiculously stupid question, but like,
it's a mixture. No, it's a mixture of not only the tunnels that are pushing out the hot water and the hot air from the core, but it's also the amount of pressure that's actually squeezing the water around.
Yeah, so, I guess if it's like if you like compressed air and it's kind of like hotter or like
correct. Yeah,
so
it's the particles same sort of principle. that exact face that you made that no one else is going to see unless they see this video.
Well, just go to the Instagram page and check the
That's
check
a
the
great
videos.
idea.
What's the Instagram handle, James? Do you know it?
It's at Drop Some Knowledge.
Drop Some Knowledge podcast.
Oh, there's the podcast at the end, isn't
There's
there?
the podcast at the end, James.
There you go. Well, now you know. It's Drop Some Knowledge.
Well,
podcast.
James is going to go over to the page, follow, and check the content. So why don't you guys do that too? I don't have much. I don't have much hope for the. Types it in. Yeah, I don't have much hope for the viewers doing that or the listeners. If you haven't even done it, you're on the podcast, mate. So.
Well, otherwise you can go to YouTube and you can definitely watch the little shorts that you put up on YouTube.
Correct.
And I'm sure we'll see our beautiful faces on there as well. So, which I shaved. Like if you're watching them, you'll know that I've shaved.
No, I've shaved too. Shaved, haircut.
Not as unruly.
I literally feel like I've lost about 15 kilos.
It does feel that way, I must admit. My face is
I look a lot
skinnier
too.
You do. Like it's a little bit more
slimming.
That's the word.
Yes.
Oh dear. Now, speaking of slimming, not
in the lockdown, mate.
No. But speaking of slimming, and talking about pressure from before, pressure at the bottom of the ocean would crush you like you would crush an ant. So
is this why it's not explored though? Like, I guess.
I would think so.
I'm just thinking like Titanic movie where they send that little robot thing down there. It looks like a generator with a fan on it, and they're sending it under there. But I guess that'd have to be built ridiculously tough because that would get crushed as well. So like,
well, that's right. And I'm just looking up now because miles to kilometers. I heard recently that the Titanic is only about 16 miles below the surface.
Okay.
Whereas I am talking about 1,100 meters below the surface at a place called the Mariana Trench. Now, the Mariana Trench is one of, if not the deepest points of the planet under the ocean. And the water pressure is 8 tons per square inch. Now,
if you go down to the bottom there, James, if you go down to the bottom there, it'd be like if an elephant sat on you and then it farted. I think that's what it'd be like. Because you've got the immense weight and it's hot, you know?
So keep the idea behind the elephant fart being as warm as it is. It's nowhere near as comforting when you find out that the amount of pressure that 8 tons per square inch is actually like you personally, Josh, like you were standing under the water with your hands up in the air, holding 50 jumbo jets. That's too many.
That's too many for me to hold, James.
And here's the thing. I know
maybe before lockdown, Josh, when I was hitting the weights,
I reckon. But that's one each arm. That's each arm, mate. 25 each arm.
You're not wrong.
But the issue is a single jumbo jet weighs about 187,000 kilos.
Yeah, a lot of weight. And I'm starting to think maybe, an elephant might have been not the best option, but I don't know what's heavier than an elephant. I mean, whales, I guess, but do whales fart? I don't know. We should have covered this
from the tops of their heads.
Yeah, true.
I do.
No, I mean,
that's the only thing I can think of. Like, I feel like that's the only way they could do it.
You're right. We've done the whale episode. Maybe we'll do whales part 2.
Yes, maybe. But how crazy is that? How deep? That is ridiculous. It's 11,000 meters below the surface, or for our American friends, it's 35,802 feet.
Oh yes, and 2 feet.
And 2 feet.
Thank God.
Apparently, that's called freedom lengths. Is I think how they put it.
Do they? I just don't know what you're talking about, maybe.
I heard it on the TV, and I thought it was funny.
Okay. You're embarrassing yourself, James.
When do I not?
You're right. No, he's right.
It's just a standard thing for me.
That's true. Just wait till I can pick on you in person when we do this in your living room again.
I know. You can actually be within arm's length too.
I can throw stuff at you.
You can.
Hmm.
I feel like that's going to be an episode where one of us will ask a question of the other and we have to answer, and we'll just peg something if we get it wrong.
Yeah, it's true.
Or like pies. We could do pies.
You know what? A random thing about pies. I'm going to hang on. What's the time? Okay, we've got about 10 minutes left. Pies in America, right? I don't understand, because have you seen every time someone says, "Oh, we're going to throw a pie at someone," or there's a pie getting thrown, it's always just like a foil plate with cream on it. Is that a pie in America?
No, that's a form of jape. It is a form of joke. And basically that was just the easiest way and to get the most cream into somebody's face.
Because that's made me think that's what a pie in America is. And you go like, and I don't know if this is 100% true. I guess just from what I know, only fruit in pies over there. And I guess pumpkin, but I had a bit of pumpkin pie once and it tastes like cinnamon. So that's
disappointing.
No, mate, there's no beef.
Where's the 4 and 20?
Yeah.
Where's the 4 and 20? Where's the Mrs. Max?
Yeah, no, I agree. Where's your Coles, your yellow and black Coles pie?
Where's the old Exeter Bakery, mate?
Oh, yeah. The people aren't going to know what the Exeter Bakery is.
I know. Yeah. This is the mainland boy talking about the apple aisle.
Don't talk about my home state, mate.
Like we'll do a Tassie there, episode.
Yeah, we should. You own the place. You own the place.
I do. I'll walk around like I own the place.
We'll do some YouTube videos about your Tassie adventures, I reckon.
It'll be fun. But we're not finished yet, and the people aren't here to listen about us talk about pies in Tasmania at the moment.
You sure?
That'll be another episode. Yeah. But here's a fun one that I thought was really funny.
Ready to receive.
Did you know that coral produces its own sunscreen?
Oh.
Right.
Do we know what it's 50 plus, or like is it something else? I need that straight coral. I need to start growing coral around here somewhere.
I think you might need to, because what it is, it's actually a protective algae that goes over the top of it, and what it does is it actually takes in the sunlight.
Is that what those mucus cucumbers do in the water? There's like, what I'm talking about? Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Looks like they've sneezed and had a cold. Yeah.
Well, I got told that was more of a what's the word I'm looking for? A protective thing, like
because a fish goes, it just sneezed everywhere. I'm not going near that thing.
I don't want to go anywhere near that. But it's a different thing. But it is a protective layer, like you would put down a lacquer on a table or anything like that. So it's a nice protective layer to stop it from getting
oil-based or water-based.
I believe it's oil-based. It's stronger that way, but it does.
Yeah, so the old blokes will be like, only oil-based, mate. That's the stuff
only oil-based. Yeah. I only use Makita tools. Anyway.
Can I add a fact here, James? And
please.
Obviously, most weeks in this podcast, I'm vulnerable to being made out to be a complete idiot, which is accurate. I only found out last week that pickles, right, are cucumbers. Did you know that? And I thought of this because of the snot cucumber that we were talking about before.
Okay.
And someone's told me that, and it blew my mind.
I'm not going to say I did, or I didn't, just to make you feel better, but I did.
No. Yeah, okay. I thought there was another like me, but there never is.
No.
It blows my mind.
I do like that, though. But there's definitely people out there, mate. There's definitely people out there that have never heard that.
Here's a question for you then. If a cucumber is a pickle, what the hell is a zucchini? Oh, God.
Do you reckon that's where gherkins are coming from?
What's the difference between a gherkin and a pickle?
I assumed it was the brine that it was in, but I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not a chef. I don't know.
Well, I'm just asking the questions, Jay. The big questions need to be answered. And this is what the Drops of Knowledge podcast is all about.
That's true. But you know what I do know, Josh?
That this has nothing to do with the ocean?
No, but thanks to the ocean, it's actually one of the planet's darkest places.
Yes, the sun does not go 11,000 kilometers under the sea.
No, but oceans have an average depth of about 3,600 meters, so 3,600 or 1,200 feet. Mm-hmm. And because the light waves, so a little bit of science here, the light waves only penetrate about 100 meters in water, or about 330 feet.
Okay.
Everything below that point is dark. Now, seeing as water is made up, 71% of the planet, this means that most of the Earth exists in absolute darkness, at all times. At all times.
No wonder those fish need little light bulbs. I wonder what wattage those light bulbs will be. How many lumens are those things putting out? How many lumens, mate? And do they have different ones with like the cool little hipster elements inside and things like that?
Oh, the filament.
Yeah, the filament. Sorry, filament. You know what I mean.
Oh no, I got you. Do you think that they're interchangeable? Do you reckon people have got like?
Do you reckon it's an Edison,
an Edison or a bayonet?
Bayonet, yeah. Do we answer the big questions here? I'm going to tell a little side story as well, because you've reminded me with the darkness before we finish up.
Okay.
So when I moved here, right, to Victoria from Tasmania, the first 2 years when I was working at Bunnings in Hawthorne, right, I would drive home without my headlights on, unknowingly, because it was so bright compared to where I grew up. I honestly couldn't tell the difference. And this is real. And I'd be driving back and people would be flashing their lights at me.
Oh my
and I'd be blaming it on bloody mainland drivers, just a little old Tassie. But like you went to my first house, right? So like this incredibly rural country area in Tasmania, not a street light for about 40 minutes of driving.
Yeah.
And all the trees are banked up to the 1-lane road. And it's complete darkness. And you turn your headlights on, you can only see still about 15 meters in front of you. Everything's to do with high beam down there, right? So when I was down there, when you flick your lights on and off. But up here, I didn't do it. And I didn't know I wasn't doing it because I'd drive out of the building and be like, oh, everything's so bright.
Yeah.
A little bit of a life story there for the listeners.
But you're not wrong though. Like the fact when you drive, it's absolutely it's completely lit up. You would never know if you just chuck your lights on, mate. That's why everything is automatic now. That's why everything is automatic. Yeah, but the only thing about automatic lights, it's all that but all the automatic lights are all the Parkers. They're not the full lights you're supposed to have while you're driving. That is my first world problem that I hate, because I see people doing that all the time. Like, turn your bloody lights on.
Life must be so hard. Yeah,
it is.
Not for a humble Tassie country lad like myself, but a big old city slicker like yourself,
like
James.
Me,
yeah. No, that's look. We used to laugh at people like you, but now I'm one of us. So
yeah. Welcome to the tribe.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Well, what an informative episode. Once again. I mean, I guess I learned that I didn't learn how many lumens the little light bulb fish have.
470.
I learned that being at the bottom of the ocean is like getting sat on an elephant and then it farts. Yep. And we also learned that a pickle is a cucumber.
Yes.
Yeah, and don't eat the snot cucumbers that come from the ocean. They're bad.
No, a bit salty. Salty surprise.
Gamey.
Yeah, gamey.
Have you got anything to add to that, James, or is that covered pretty well?
No, I think that's covered really well. It's something that I've wanted to do as a podcast episode. It was one of my favorites to do, and really, really good fun. Like, it's one of those ones that I'm sure in 5 years' time there will be more things that have been discovered and all this sort of stuff.
What do you reckon the country we're going to race to under the water is? What are the two countries you reckon? Are we going America, Russia again, or we reckon we're going to be two other countries?
Oh, that's a good one, actually. No, I definitely think it's America.
Of course. Yeah, they always want to win.
But I think it might be actually Korea this time around.
I don't know. I was going to say China or Korea, but I feel like they just like nuclear stuff, I don't
nuclear
think
submarines.
Yeah, I guess they've already got those though. I mean, ScoMo just bought a whole fleet.
Actually, I was going to say, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be the UK, the US, Australia versus the French.
The French, you reckon?
Yeah, because we're the ones that gave away the $90 billion contract from the French to make diesel submarines to go away and help out our big mates in the UK and the US to make nuclear ones. So I reckon the French are going to be like, Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Okay. Place your bets now. French v. I mean, everyone whose English is their first language, I guess. So
I think it's AUKUS. I think that's what they've called themselves. AUKUS. Is that right?
I don't like
I don't
that.
know.
I don't
I'm
like
going to
that.
look it up.
We're waffling, James, and last week we said no waffle. So thanks for listening to this latest episode, guys. Hopefully we're back in the studio within the next few episodes.
That's right.
We'll chat your ears off then.
Well, we've got some big ones coming up, guys. It's going to be great fun. I'm going to go and make waffles. So, ciao.
I want a waffle. It sucks.
I'll send one to you in the post.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Express shipping?
Oh, absolutely.
Sick. All right, I'm going to go eat my waffle. Bye-bye.
See ya.